Hey there, welcome to Createful Art. We're celebrating Createful Christmas, and today I would love to show you how to paint. If you haven't already, go subscribe at createfullart.com so you can have access to more Createful Christmas content. The supplies that I use are in the description below. Alright, for this first step, I took a watercolor pencil and I sketched out where I wanted the train to be. Now all of my Createful Art members, and there's a link right here, got a reference photo to help you with this so that you could also trace your picture. Now I'm only going to use 4 brushes. 2 of them are a flat brush, one smaller than the other, about the size of my finger, and then 2 round brushes, one that's also the size of my finger, a little less, about that big, and a smaller one. So once you're done with your sketch, you're ready for the next step. So what you want to do is you want to grab your white, okay, and you're just going to come in here, okay, with your white and then a little bit of black, and I like to mix on the canvas. Now the reason why we're making the background gray is because over the top of this we're going to add snow, and we have to have some kind of contrast to be able to see the snow. Now as we go over our lines here, you won't be able to see them anymore. So that's not very helpful, right? So what you're going to do is you're just going to come in here where those lines were and go over the top. I'm just going to be doing it inch by inch. So where that swirl was, I'm just going to take it and go over like that, okay? So when I grabbed that black, I didn't blend a lot. That's going to make it appear like there's snow as well. So as you go down, you're just going to make sure that these swirls that you're making are lighter in color, okay? You're just gonna really just give it the impression that there's swirls back here. Just make sure that your canvas is covered and that no white of the canvas is showing. So now you're gonna go all the way down to about right here with your swirls. Just giving it the impression that there's swirls way back here. These are the lights, and I'm just going to be adding the shape. And I don't necessarily fill it in or make it perfect. This one's going back and receding this way, and this one is just going back and receding a little bit more at a different angle, so it's not exactly the same as this side, which adds interest. Put some lines going up, and you can take your flat brush for this and adding some dimension. A little bit of red. This is maybe a light or a flag or something. But since these are really tall buildings back here, it really could be anything. And what your eye is going to do is it's going to fill in the blanks and try to make sense of it. Bringing that down. I'm going to put in the light here. Okay, bring that down. This is the light from the lamps. Have to have a lot of gray going on here. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull up right next to your train here with just a gray color. Okay, and you're filling this in, the brush strokes to side, because this is going to be filled in with snow. And there's like a man standing right here. So using my black, here's my basic shape. It's absolutely not at all precise. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the tire and the car, okay? So I'm just kind of giving it, oh, here's that glass in the back, okay? You have to get the shapes or the where things are correct, but you don't have to get detailed, because your eye will fill in the rest, but you have to have it somewhat what it's supposed to be for your eye to make sense of it. Okay, so you have to have like a round head, for example, for your eye to think that that might be a person. So now for the snow, I'm just bringing it across. Okay. And then bring that up, right up against the train, and just slightly go over the train. And even though that color doesn't match, you just come in here and you bring it over, because this is the second layer. Bring that down. Okay, so you're filling this all in. Don't be precise about color or really anything. Just grabbing my round brush, my black, and like I did with that guy over here, that's not the main focus, so we're just going to make it appear like that it's a man. And I'm just coming in here, gonna give it a little hand or something. And then since this is the shape of a leg, it's going to look like a leg. And that can be something he's carrying. This can be a hand in his pocket. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna put another person right around here. And then there's more people through here. There's more lines coming out here where things are at. And actually, the more you just add some crazy brush strokes that are not really linked to anything, the more it looks like there's stuff back here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to finish up that snow, and we're going to take some of the blue color, okay, and we're going across like this. Now that I have some of this color on my brush and it's going a long way, I'm just going to spread it around. Some more of that color and add it onto this side. Right here, there's going to be a lot of different colors going on because it's closer and there's more shadow. So just bring that across where you're going to have that. Okay, now you're going to make a gray color. It's darker. And you're going to do the same thing as add more detail over here. More shadow back here. Okay, shadow underneath this car. And shadows over here. Leaving that guy alone. Okay. Add some black, some dimension here. Okay, now I'm going to add in the railroad. Notice I don't even make it a perfect line. The blessing of this painting. It's absolutely unperfect in all ways. Okay, and then come down here and you're going to give the shadow of the train right here. And maybe some right in here where there's some snow coming off. Okay. And now black down here at the bottom for some shadow. Okay, so once you're to this point, you're ready to put in your train. So let's move on to the next step. So what I'm going to do with the train is I'm going to grab my smaller flat brush, and what I'm going to do is fill in the color. So I'm going to grab my bright red and I'm going to add it right here in between these lines. Then I'm going to take my small round brush and I'm just going to come in here and give it this edge back. And that's all you need to do is fill in these shapes. And I can show you every single line, but you just can look at the reference photo. Okay, and that's what's so fun and playful about this painting, is you can let go of perfectionism. And it actually looks better doing it that way. Because you can get so tied up on perfectionism that it's not playful anymore. If you have any gray or anything that doesn't really belong, that's showing through here, you just come in here and fill it in. Okay, now down where it's close to where it connects to the front part of the train, I'm taking my purple and for a more shadowed look right through here and connecting that over. Okay, and then see how it makes that look shadowy? And then I can grab my black and add even more of a change between the colors. Okay, see how I pull up? And then it's always nice to just add a little bit of that darker color in here, the side here. There's a lot of different shapes and colors and shadows that are going on. I'm going to take my blue now, a little black to it, a little bit of white, okay, kind of like an ice color, and I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add a little bit of that to my windows. There's going to be some shadows from the snow that's piling on here, so I just take my purple And a little bit of my black. Just let that kind of be where the shadows are. Take my orange now, and I'm going to highlight this area because this is a focal point. I want it a little bit brighter. So here in the middle is a light, so I'm going to start with orange. Then I'm going to go on top of that with this yellow here, and I'm going to take my gold and I'm going to use my gold to really make it stand out. Okay, and because you have this light bouncing off of the wreath, you're just going to come in here and give it a little specks around. Then you have the same thing up here with the light. Just add a little gold. So I'm going to take my blue here, and there's a square that goes around. Now you're going to take your round brush to finish off your train. You're going to dip into your white. So you're just going to go in between your windows here, go down here, because right now it's just the white of the canvas. Right, same thing up here. And there's white right here. This little edge right here where there's some white from snow. You're going to grab your green, put in your wreath. Now notice how I'm just making a dabbing motion and I'm letting it be irregular. That's how wreaths look. They have all their little pokies going out. I'm going to take my dark black here, and it's going to mix in with that green, and it's going to make a foresty green. Now above this is where a bow is going to go, and there's snow on top of that. This is kind of the precise work, and this is what makes the train stand out, is because everything else is so like blurred and this isn't. You're going to have a little bit of snow on top of your light there, and some on your wreath down here. And then you bring this snow over that's on top of this part of your train. And I want to bring my wreath down just a little bit more so it touches. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I want it to touch that top of this part of the train. Bring that out. It's not too hard to do that. You're filling in this white, because remember that white is the white of your canvas. And I'm going to have a little bit of white where the snow is clinging to the side here, because this is like going straight into snow that's falling. So I'm going to add a little bit of the white right here along the edges. Adding a little white where the snow would go on those mirrors. Snow pile right there. Right there. Let's finish this wreath real quick. Grabbing the red and coming in here and making a line come out. That's the ribbon of the wreath. The line come out here. Okay, and I'm just going right over my wet paint. I'm going to add a little bit of gold to my snow here, just because this light will reflect off of it. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your white in a little bit of water, and you're just adding a little bit of the white in the foreground here. And you want a lot of this gray to show through. Now the reason why we're only adding it to the foreground is because that's where you would actually see the difference. It's up close that it looks more white. So we're just going to add that in. Add a little more of a layer. So you're going to take your brush, you're going to get it wet, add some white to it, okay? And I'm using my flat brush for this, and I'm going to pull back, and snow's going to go over the top. Use them all over. See how that snow now pops out because of the gray? You can make it as snowy as you want. Alright, then I like to look back at my work and see if there's anything that I want to change.
And then I'm going to sign my work with my red right here, and I'm done.
Thank you so much for creating with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a very Merry Christmas. On this channel, we learn about art, we get creative, and we do do-it-yourself art projects that will look great in your home. If that sounds great to you, I hope that you subscribe, and also check out these other videos. See you in my next video. Bye!